Many Africans still believe that slavery is a thing of the past. That subscribing to the lie sold to the world by Europe and America that slavery was abolished in 1955. But is it true that slavery was completely abolished? If it was, why are we Africans still in the mental condition that we were 500 years ago? Well, actions speaks louder than words. Events happening right now across the world in relationship to the human race bears witness that slavery is still alive and kicking, with white supremacy as an agent perpetuating this inhumane act done unto us ever since we came in contact with the white man. With the aid of the mental genocide, Africans are voluntarily flocking into Europe and America, with many lives being lost in the process due to tough conditions encountered when crossing the seas. Human trafficking in the name of recruitment agents practiced by many prominent African people, including politicians and former heads of African states, justifies the fact that human slavery is still practiced, though in a new form. Young African women are being sold to be sex slaves in Europe, America, and Asia, pretty much like how it was with Sarah Baartman, proving to us that the statement made by Europe and America that slavery was abolished was just but a mere statement that holds no water. This is to say, when shackles and chains were removed from our hands and legs, shackles and chains were placed in a different location, and that's the mind brainwashing the whole entire African race, turning us into tools and fools, and confirming the word of one of the slave masters who said, being a fool is one of the basic ingredients of any incident to the maintenance of the slavery system. If you can spare a moment and look around you, look across the social media platforms and see how foolish we have become as a people. Filthy and indecency taking up the center stage in the black community. Does slavery still exist in this world? Yes, if you haven't yet subscribed, please help us by subscribing to this channel, share and like the videos, and let us grow together in knowledge. The truth about slavery is that it was never abolished. And since one truth verifies the other, let's look into the speech by Willie Lynch, a British slave owner in the West Indies, delivered on the banks of the James River in the colony of Virginia in 1712. And this is what he had to say.
He said, quote, "In my bag, I have a foolproof method of controlling black slaves. I guarantee every one of you, if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and I make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes." I want you to listen. What are those three things? Fear, envy, distrust. For what purpose? Control. To control who? The slave. Who is the slave? Us. Listen. He said, "These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and they will work throughout the South." Now, take this simple little list and think about it. On the top of my list is age, but it's only there because it starts with an A, and the second is color or shade. There's intelligence, sex, size of plantation, status of plantation, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley or on a hill, north, east, south, or west, have fine hair or coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry it on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years. Now don't forget, you must pitch the old black male against the young black male. And the young black male against the old black male. You must use the female against the male. And you must use the male against the female. You must use the dark-skinned slave against the light-skinned slave. And the light-skinned slave against the dark-skinned slave. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks. But it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Gentlemen, these keys are your keys to control. Use them. Never miss an opportunity. And if used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. Thank you, gentlemen. End of quote. So spoke Willie Lynch. And so as a consequence, we as a people now have been fractured, divided, and destroyed, filled with fear, distrust, and envy. Therefore, because of fear, envy, and distrust of one another, many of us as leaders, teachers, educators, pastors, and persons are still under the control mechanism of our former slave masters and their children.
Yes, that's the speech by Willie Lynch, a British slave owner in the West Indies, which was delivered on the banks of the James River in the colony of Virginia in 1712, almost 311 years today. We are not yet free from slavery. The education system given to us by this world only produces better slaves. Employment that we all beg from the children of the slave masters is nothing but just a new form of slavery. Altered religion practiced by Africans today is nothing but just a new form of slavery, and that's just nothing but a new form of slavery.